We've brought the cameras along today to the beautiful, picturesque Staunton Harold Reservoir in South Derbyshire. We're here to follow Dean Barlow through a midweek open match. There's about 35 anglers booked into this open match. Dean's drawn peg 56 on the farmhouse side. The reservoir is up a couple of feet due to all the recent rain over the last couple of days. It's also very clear. As a result of this, we've made the decision, because it's an open match, to keep well back from the bankside. We've watched Dean from a distance, keeping disturbances to a minimum. Dean's really been up against it today, as he's got the MPEG 60 in his section. Dean's found that he's had to cast 90 metres today to get bites. He's been timing his bites as well. 6-minute cast has been about right. Best hook bait, probably 5 maggots. Dean has rotated between the method feeder and the window feeder. The match is nearly over now. As soon as the all out is sounded, which is just there, we'll go down to Dean now and we'll ask him how he's got on. Right, so the scales have just gone. Dean's weighed 11 pound 2. Well done, Dean.
Cheers, mate.
Do you want to talk us through how it's gone today?
Yeah, I've drawn this peg on the farm side. I'm quite familiar with this area, and if obviously people who saw the video that we did for the braid, they'll notice that the level is come up really considerably. Another 2.5 to 3 feet of extra water in the reservoir. So with that in mind, I've gone quite a long distance. I've gone 90 metres just to try and get into the deeper water. So I've settled for one line. Did have a little bit of a backup, but that didn't come to fruition. On a 50-metre line, I've not had a bite there. But yeah, so I decided to fish long and just try and go through the motions.
And what sort of depth did you have at 90 metres?
I reckon about 15 to 18 feet, that's all.
And you don't think that's quite deep enough?
No, there is a channel a lot further out. In previous years on this side here, the water level has been quite lower, and there is like an old channel where you can get into the channel. It is a lot deeper, and them fish seem to like go up and down that channel.
The problem obviously with being sat back further today, it's not allowed you to get that extra distance.
No, and that's why I went for 90 metres. I was thinking 90 metres is probably about 70 metres from where we would be fishing on the levels that it has been. So I decided to go that far. And to be fair, I've had bites, but just no proper fish.
I've seen you've been swapping between the window feeder and the method. What was the better one of the two? Window
feeder, definitely. With the water going a little bit cooler, normally I don't fish a method on here, but with the water going a little bit cooler, I thought it does work a bit better for bream in the cooler months. So I've had a few chucks and I've caught one roach on it, surprisingly enough, which was a lovely roach, but unfortunately no proper fish. So window was definitely better.
So with the window feed, I see you've been swapping hook baits quite a lot. What was the best hook bait today?
I've caught mainly on 4 and 5 maggots. On a 2.5 foot hook length. I have had a few fish on worms. When I had to wait a long time for a bite, worm was okay, but I just getting pestered with little perch. That's the only problem with worms.
So you fished braid again today, I have noticed.
Yeah, fished braid, fished 010 braid because I was going that little bit further. Slightly thinner braid does get you that extra little bit of distance.
And have you fished again a shock leader?
Yeah, I fished a shock leader when the feeder's in my hand. I've got one turn onto my reel. Good size reel again, 5,500 size reel, which you need to get those distances.
So given all the extra rain we've had the last couple of days, has the reservoir fished the way you thought it would do?
It's fished a little bit harder, to be fair, Steve. When I got to my peg here, but there's always a chance on this farm side because there is bream that live here. But I think with the cold water, the fish have just moved out into the deeper water, and then the end pegs become a lot more better. Cole Foley's been on the end peg. Good angler Carl comes to Staunton quite a lot. He's at 42 pound and he's done absolutely brilliant. Then Andy Leathers, next peg, he's at 22 pound. So you can just see how it's just got a little bit worse as it's gone down the section. But you just never know, 5 or 6 pulls and it makes all the difference. So you've always got to sit there thinking that there's a chance.
Yeah, you've done the right thing, because if you look at the weights to your left that have decided to fish shorter than you,
yeah,
the weights just haven't been there again.
Yeah, obviously, I mean, we know that the bream live here, and with them catching them to my right, like I say, you need one visit. One visit, you can put 10 or 15 pound in your net, added to the weight you've already had, and you're talking possible framing place.
So again, you have fished helicopter style rigs with long tails and big hooks still?
Yeah, it doesn't really make any difference on these waters. I've fished 2.5 foot tail, helicopter rig, just so it's an anti-tangle rig, and I fished a size 10 hook with 0.20 animal line.
We did speak at the start. I said, oh, the wind's perfect for you today, it's pushing from behind, but you replied with, you would have preferred if it was in your face today.
Definitely. I mean, bream fishing is a lot of it is about the wind, and I'd always like to sit with the wind right in my face, because the fish do follow the wind, and with me fishing that far anyway, I didn't really want to be going any further than that. To try and keep it nice and tidy, 90 metres is a hell of a long way to keep casting.
So 11 pound 2 made up the majority of skimmers with an odd perch?
Yeah, I've had a nice perch about 1.5 pounds, and I've had a skimmer 1.5 pounds, and then rest just like big hand size skimmers. Nice fish when you can catch them. And one of the things that was plain to see today is you would sit there, you get no bites, and all of a sudden you'll catch 3 fish in 3 casts, and it's as though the fish come in, eat, and then just disappear.
I noticed you were looking at your watch a lot today, Dean, as if you were timing your casts.
One thing what was definitely visible to see today, when the fish did come into my peg, the bite times were between 4 and 6 minutes every fish, and it's unbelievable how it keeps happening like that. So I don't see any point in leaving it in for more than 10 minutes if when the fish do come in your peg it takes them 4 to 6 minutes to get to your bait.
You were actually watching your stopwatch as much as you was watching your tip today, so it really is an important factor.
Yeah, definitely. I'm not quite sure what happens, but whether your bait gets washed out or the fish come down and eat everything that you've presented for them, but it definitely does make a difference, and you can plan your match a little bit better. You can have a few quick casts and just see how the fish are reacting to how you're feeding.
And I suppose you would alter your feeder size as well, depending upon the length of time in between bites?
Yeah, definitely. If I was going to start injecting a bait in, I'd rather cast more regular with a smaller feeder, or then what I call putting the sleeper rod out, which is a bigger feeder, and leave it for a longer cast.
Fantastic. And what size feeder was best today?
I've swapped between a large and a medium window. It was just depending on what kind of bait I was putting through. When I was putting worms through, the smaller feeder seemed to be better.
Well, an enjoyable day. 11 pound 2, not to be sniffed at. Not quite enough to get in the frame today, but you've enjoyed it?
Oh, how can you not enjoy it? Look where we are. It's absolutely beautiful. And you know what they say, a bad day's fishing is better than a good day at work.
It is a beautiful place, I must admit. It really is. So, well done, Dean. I will help you pack up the rest of your bits, and then
should hope so.
we'll get back onto the road. Well done, mate.
Cheers, mate.
Thank you. And that bird finish.